That is the worst clip in the history of television.
The Holocaust isn't about race. It's about man's inhumanity to man.
Comes courtesy of our friends over at The View. When I say our friends over at The View, I mean the low IQ idiots who are on panel at The View. And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God, she is so stupid. This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust. Genius, Whoopi Goldberg.
Ben Shapiro vs. Whoopi Goldberg, a clash of perspectives. The View, a platform for controversy. Ben Shapiro has gained notoriety for his critiques of the daytime talk show, The View. He describes it as a show filled with what he sees as misguided opinions from its hosts, particularly Whoopi Goldberg. Shapiro makes no secret of his disdain for what he calls delusional takes on trending issues, asserting that many of the statements made on the show lack factual support and often lean towards liberal bias. This blog delves into some of the most contentious moments between Shapiro and Goldberg, highlighting their contrasting viewpoints. Whoopi Goldberg's controversial remarks. Goldberg has often made headlines for her statements, particularly regarding sensitive topics like the Holocaust. Shapiro vehemently disagrees with her characterization of the Holocaust, which he feels undermines the severity of the event. He emphasizes that for someone who frequently discusses race, it is baffling that she would downplay one of history's most significant racially motivated atrocities.
I love that she's trying to make an anti-Trump argument. She's like, I can say anything I want. And she's like, I'm going to say something super racist. They're all like, yeah.
The distortion of historical events. Shapiro's frustration is palpable when he addresses Goldberg's comments about the Holocaust, where she reduced it to man's inhumanity to man. He argues that this portrayal strips away the essential context of racial hatred that fueled the genocide of over 6 million Jews. Shapiro insists that the Holocaust is not just a historical footnote but a pivotal event that has shaped global history. By trivializing it, Shapiro believes Goldberg is engaging in a dangerous form of historical revisionism. Racism and the narrative on The View.
Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
No, it's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
But it's about white supremacy. It's
not about
ideal race.
But these are two white groups of people.
The discussions on The View often revolve around race and social justice, but Shapiro points out that some hosts, including Goldberg, make seemingly racist statements while defending racial minorities. He finds it ironic that in their attempts to advocate for equality, they sometimes end up perpetuating divisive narratives. Shapiro's critique of the show suggests that the hosts often fail to recognize how their comments might be perceived as patronizing or racially insensitive. Comparisons that miss the mark. One of the more contentious moments came when Goldberg compared the actions of the U.S. and Israel to those of terrorist groups like Hamas and the Taliban. Shapiro found this comparison not only misguided but also indicative of a broader problem with the liberal narrative presented on the show. And he argues that such statements reflect a fundamental misunderstanding of the complexities of international relations and the nature of terrorism. Joy Behar, a fellow contributor to The Chaos. While Goldberg often takes center stage, Shapiro also critiques Joy Behar for her equally questionable remarks. He suggests that Bihar's eagerness to defend minority groups sometimes leads her to make statements that could be construed as racist. Shapiro's commentary implies that both Goldberg and Behar contribute to a culture of ignorance on The View, where fact-checking seems to take a back seat to ideological fervor. The liberal agenda and its failings. Shapiro's observations extend beyond individual comments to a broader critique of the liberal agenda that he believes The View embodies. He argues that the show often promotes divisive narratives that fail to engage with reality. This, he suggests, is symptomatic of a larger trend in liberal media, where emotional appeals overshadow logical reasoning. The question of free speech and accountability. In the current climate, the issue of free speech versus accountability is a hot topic. Shapiro believes that public figures, including those on The View, should be held accountable for their statements. He argues that the failure to do so not only undermines the integrity of public discourse but also allows for the perpetuation of misinformation. Whoopi Goldberg's role in the discourse. Goldberg's position as a prominent figure on The View comes with significant influence. Shapiro contends that her comments can shape public perception and that it is crucial for viewers to critically evaluate the information presented. He emphasizes the need for a discerning audience that recognizes the potential consequences of accepting such narratives without question. Ben Shapiro's call for rational discourse. Throughout his critiques, Shapiro advocates for a return to rational discourse. He believes that discussions about race, history, and politics should be grounded in facts rather than emotional appeals. His critiques of Goldberg and her co-hosts serve as a call for more thoughtful engagement with complex issues, rather than the oversimplified narratives often presented on platforms like The View. The need for critical thinking. Shapiro's commentary highlights a broader societal issue: the decline of critical thinking in public discussions. He urges individuals to question the narratives they encounter, particularly those that come from media figures who may prioritize sensationalism over accuracy. This, he argues, is essential for fostering a more informed and engaged citizenry. Conclusion: a divided discourse. The clash between Ben Shapiro and Whoopi Goldberg embodies a larger divide in contemporary discourse. As both figures represent opposing sides of political and social issues, their exchanges shed light on the challenges of navigating discussions that are often laden with emotion and bias. Ultimately, Shapiro's critiques serve as a reminder of the importance of grounding discussions in facts, fostering critical thinking, and holding public figures accountable for their statements. As we continue to engage with complex social issues, it is crucial to approach them with a discerning eye and an open mind. The conversations we have today will shape the discourse of tomorrow, and it is up to each of us to ensure that our voices contribute to a more informed and rational dialogue.